ये अपना संजीवन है।
Friends, let's understand what happened further in the story The Summer of Beautiful White Horse. So, here are the two characters, that's Aram and Maurad. So, let's understand the further proceedings and situation incidents in the story. Maurad told Aram that it will take him a whole year to learn to ride a horse. Aram said they could keep him for a year then. Maurad stood up on his feet and shouted at him about encouraging him to be a thief in spite of being a member of the Garagalanin family. He declared that the horse should go to his true owner. Aram asked when would they have to return the horse, to which Maurad said in 6 months. He threw the bird into the air. It almost fell twice but flew at last. For the next 2 weeks, they both would take the horse out of the barn and ride it. But every morning, the horse would throw Aram and run away whenever he tried to ride it. He still hoped he would learn to ride the horse again. They met John Byrow, who was on his way to town. Maurad insisted on talking to him as he had a way with the farmers. Maurad wished him good morning, and Byrow saw the horse carefully. Byrow wished them back and asked the name of the horse. Maurad said, My heart, in Armenian language. Byrow complicated that it was a lovely name for a lovely horse. He swore that it was his horse that was stolen weeks ago. He asked if he could look into his mouth. After looking from tooth to tooth, it said it was his horse. If he didn't know his parents, he said the horse was a twin of his horse. He further said that his family is all for honesty, but the horse looks just like the one he lost. The man who is suspicious would easily believe his eyes and not his heart. He wished them and went away. Maurad wished him back. The next morning, they took the horse back to John Byrow's vineyard and put it in his barn. The dogs followed them around without making any sound. Maurad replied they would not bark at them since he had a way with the dogs. Maurad put his arms around the horse and then pressed his nose into the horse's nose. He patted him and then they went away. That same afternoon, John came to Aram's house in his surrey and showed his mother his horse that returned. He said he didn't know what to think as the horse is much stronger now with a better temper. He thanked God. Uncle Khusro, who was in parlor, again shouted, irritated, Quiet man, quiet your horse has been returned. Pay no attention to it. After understanding the details, the explanation of the story, moving forward, now let's understand the pen portrait of some of the important characters, key characters, which are developed in the story by the author. The initial character, that's let's know more about Aram. Aram is the narrator of the story and serves as the moral center. He is very mindful of doing the right thing while understanding the financial challenges of the family. He is a boy belong to Armenian family. He does not seek to disrupt the balances in the family or in the community. And while he does love the horse, riding the horse, he does understand that in taking it, he and his cousin are doing something that is not entirely right. he was aware that he with his cousin, so he was not doing the right thing. Something which cause the honesty to their family. So he was aware of all the situation, all the proceedings, all the happenings, and he was responding uh, in a good way. Even he loved riding the horse, so he couldn't avoid the temptation to ride the horse with his cousin. He had a good understanding with Maurad, and they were enjoying the light moments in their life. He was very okay, interesting, mm, okay, following the various happenings in life with the Maurad. So blindly, we cannot call blindly, but unknowingly or unconsciously, he was following Maurad. Now let's understand one more key character from the story, that is Maurad. Maurad, in contrast, is guided by his passion for the horse, compelling him to take it. He was somewhat matured compared to Aram. Maurad has been described in the story as an animal lover. He was a keen animal lover. He knows how to understand the language, or to how to manage the various animals. He sang when he rides a horse. So it seems he's a happy-go-lucky young boy, and usually he used to sing song whenever he ride a horse. His passion for riding made him a fearless rider. So he was a fearless guy and very courageous. He had always a way with the horse and knew how to tame them, how to manage them, how to control them against a running wild. He took good care of animals, which shows his emotional attachment with the animals. So he had a very keen love and very a lot of interest with animals and even birds too. So he was taking a good care of animals and birds. Through the story, he's okay developed in such a way that he is a courageous and a daredevil and very bold young boy from Armenian family. And even he knows the values and respect the honesty in the society of for his family, for their community. So he was aware how to keep respect of his family and the elders. Now let's turn to understand the one more character from the story. That's a pen portrait of Uncle Khusro. Uncle Khusro is a old person. He's explained to be very impatient man. He's developed as an impatient person. This worked to his disadvantage one day when he was getting his hair trimmed by the barber, and he came to know that his house was on fire. He was in a barber shop for the purpose of trimming his hair, and there he received a news that his house was on fire. He had an amazing reaction when he said, "It is no harm, pay no attention to it, enough. It is a no harm, I say." So he reacted, and his reaction, usually he used to give the same reaction, the same sentences, same words whenever he used to listen any news or any such happenings. So he used to reply in the same way. It is a no harm, pay no attention to it, enough, it is a no harm, I say. So usually whenever a person used to come and meet him, and they used to share something news or something, some incidents, so usually his reply was in this same way. He was a big man with a largest mustache. He was very in tempered and so irritable. So he was very in-tempered and short temper and always looking in anger, and he was very quick in his reaction. So this old man had command over his family. Moving forward, so let's turn to understand summary in brief. This is a story of a two tribal Armenian boys who belong to the Garogalian tribe. For their family, even at times of extreme poverty, nothing could match the importance of honesty. They never did anything wrong and never lied or never even stole anything. The story talks about an incident that revolves around two cousins, Aram, who is a 9 years old, and Maurad, who is a 13 years old boy. The world for Aram at that time seemed to be delightful and extremely joyous, yet mysterious. Dream. People believed in unimaginable in every imaginable kind of magnificence. Maurad was considered to be a crazy by everybody he knew. The story opens with a Maurad coming to Aram's house at a 4 in the morning, early in the morning, one fine day. He tapped on the window to Aram's room. When Aram looked out of the window, he was taken aback and startled, confused, to see Maurad riding a beautiful white horse. In fact, he was so dazed that Maurad had to say. So he was wondered and he was shocked. Maurad had to say, yet it is, yes, it is a horse. You are not dreaming. Maurad informed to Aram that it was a horse. Yes, it was a horse, and he was not dreaming. All this was too unbelievable because Aram knew that they were too poor to be able to afford to buy a horse. The only way Maurad could possess it could be by stealing only. So he believed that it was stolen by Maurad, and it was not easy to for them to buy or to purchase or to possess. They were too honest to lie and yet too crazy to ride a horse. So it was very surprising and wondering for Aram that Maurad was there in front of his room, and it was early in the morning. So that was very shocking, and he couldn't believe. So it was totally unbelievable to the Aram. Thus, they kept the horse for 2 weeks, enjoying its ride in a cool air and singing to their hearts' content on the country roads. They hid it from the rest of the world by keeping it in a barn of the deserted vineyard. So kept, they hid the horse at the deserted vineyard, so others could not notice it. Others could not get understand or get attention towards the horse. Meanwhile, Aram came to know that the horse was stolen from John Byro. They planned not to return it to him so soon, although it piqued their conscience to steal, which was completely their ethics and tribal norms. So for both of them, that they were not doing right, as they were using others' horse and they were enjoying the riding from that horse, which was completely their ethics and tribal norms. So it was okay. It was against the ethics and the respect of the honesty of their tribal norms. One fine day, they came across John, the farmer. Such was the boy's family, famous for their honesty, that thought of his horse being stolen by the boys never crossed John's mind. Even John was unable to believe that the boys from Armenian family might have stolen his horse, might have kept his horse. So he was believing in the honesty of Armenian family. He was just amazed at the resemblance and said, I would swear it is my horse if I did not know your parents. And he identified, he understood that it was his horse and it was not others' horse. Even he checked tooth, and then he had a set of horse, he had a twin of horse. So immediately he understood that it was his horse only. This moving experience led the boys towards John's vineyard. The very next morning, they left the horse in the barn after petting it affectionately. Both the boys decided to return to its original owner, its a real owner, that's a John Byro, and they left the horse in the barn after petting it affectionately. Later that day, John seemed to be very pleased and shared the news of the return of his horse with Aram's mother. The next day in the morning, John Byro visited Aram's house and he shared the news of the return of his horse with Aram's mother. The story teaches us the importance and the necessity of honesty, even in a face of greed and passion. Dear students, let's understand something about Garogalin, that's a family or a tribal race. It is mentioned in the story. So let's understand more, or let's gather more information about Garonian family. It is a poor Armenian tribe. Every branch of the Garogalin family was living in the most amazing and comical poverty in the world. So they were poverty stricken, and they were living in a very poor financial condition. They were very poor. The most important of all, they were famous for their honesty. But one thing that they possess, they were very famous for their honesty. They never lie, they never steal, they never walk on the wrong path, they never do ill to others, they never keep ill intentions in their mind. So they were very honest, and they were very firm to their values. They had a lot of respect in community, in the society, and even others believe that they were unable to do any wrong to the other people or to the society or to the community. So they possess a lot of respect everywhere. The people of the tribe were proud first and honest next. So they were very proud of their tribal race, and even they were very keen to their values and to their good points, honesty, etc. So the Garulians were very proud and very good natured people. Thank you very much for watching this video.